What's up guys, and welcome back to another video here on B Mills Wrestling. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my full show reaction for Money in the Bank. Before we get into the video, if you guys are not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. And don't forget to leave a like down below. Alright guys, let's get into the video. To kick off Money in the Bank, we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match between Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. And I honestly thought that this was a very solid Money in the Bank ladder match. And like I said in a previous video, this was probably one of the more unpredictable Money in the Bank ladder matches that we've ever seen. I thought that all 6 of these women could have left with the briefcase. Lots of great spots in this match. The Devil's Kiss from Stephanie Vaquer to Rhea Ripley on the ladder. Roxanne looked really good, I thought, in this match. I just thought there were some great moments. And overall, like I said, I didn't know who was going to pull this one out. There was times where Roxanne was at the top. I thought Roxanne maybe could have won it. Alexa Bliss, I thought she could have won it. They've teased her a ton with cashing in on Tiffany Stratton. As much as I didn't want Rhea Ripley to win because I don't think that she needs this. I didn't think she needed this. I thought for a split second she was going to win it when she was buried under all of those ladders. I thought she was going to pull a big show, just throw her fist out through all the ladders, throwing them all off her body, and then climb the ladder, take everybody out, and then win the briefcase. I'm so glad that did not end up happening because, like I said, she's so much bigger than the briefcase, and she did not need it. But there was obviously times where Stephanie Vaquer was at the top of the ladder, and I honestly thought that she could have won this match just because of how over she was in NXT. They had to call her right up to the main roster, and I wouldn't put it behind them to have her win this match. We saw a young Tiffany Stratton win it last year, and I wouldn't have been surprised. She is my prediction, or my top candidate, I should say, to win the Queen of the Ring this year. But that's besides the point. Back to the Money in the Bank match. So yeah, obviously, great match overall. A lot of false finishes where we thought people were going to win, but it ends up being Naomi to capture that briefcase. She shoves Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss off the ladder, and then obviously everybody's taken out at that point. She climbs the ladder and retrieves the briefcase for the win, and that was a prediction of mine in one of my more recent videos where I was predicting who was going to win these matches at Money in the Bank. I did say Naomi was going to walk out with that briefcase, and she does. And it makes sense. I'm not mad at it. Yes, I would have liked Roxanne or Stephanie to walk out with the briefcases because they were my 2 favorite in this match. But Naomi winning absolutely 1000% makes sense just because now she's going to have her full circle moment of cashing in on Tiffany Stratton for the title because Tiffany costed her that title so many times. Now it's vice versa. Tiffany's the face and Naomi's the heel. So it does make sense. They've already teased it a couple times. So I knew it was going to happen. And like I said, I predicted this to happen, so I'm not mad at it. Overall, I think this is huge for Naomi. Obviously, this heel turn has really helped her career. It's been the best thing she's done in WWE, and now she has a chance to do even better things while holding that briefcase and hopefully become WWE Women's Champion. Following that, we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line between the champion Dominic Mysterio and Octagon. This was a match that got announced the day of Money in the Bank, which is kind of crazy. We saw Dominic Mysterio at Worlds Collide where he was talking smack to Octagon. They ended up throwing down a little bit in the ring before they were separated, and then Dom would end up grabbing a microphone and challenging Octagon to a title match later that day at Money in the Bank, which I thought was crazy. It was a very short match. I definitely thought they could have had a much longer match. It was only about maybe just under 10 minutes, maybe an 8-minute match. There was some cool spots in this match. You got to see Octagon showcase his talent a little bit. Obviously, not too many WWE fans are going to be familiar with him, but I feel like we have to get used to that now with this collaboration with WWE and AAA, which I think is good for both sides. But yeah, like I said, it was a short match, but it was short and sweet. I don't think they needed to do too much with it, and Dominic Mysterio obviously retained his title and is still the Intercontinental Champion. Following that, we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line between the champion Lyra Valkyria and the challenger Becky Lynch. This is obviously their second match for that title. They obviously met for the first time at Backlash, had an absolute banger of a match where Lyra Valkyria retained her championship by a roll-up against Becky. We saw Becky obviously attack Lyra Valkyria after that match, furthering their story. And then obviously we get their second match here tonight at Money in the Bank. And once again, a really good match between these two. They really do have some solid chemistry in that ring. I wouldn't expect anything less. They've been training together for years. It's basically student versus teacher. So yeah, like I said, really good match between these two, and I predicted that Becky Lynch would win this match in my predictions video. I actually thought she was going to win back at Backlash. So with them having another match, I knew Lyra Valkyria wasn't going to retain again. Becky Lynch does indeed win the Intercontinental Championship. She wins that title now for the first time. She is the second person to ever hold that title. No Bayley return though in this match. I was a little surprised about that. I thought at the end, when Lyra was holding Becky's hand up, I thought Becky was going to take her out again, and then I thought Bayley's music was going to hit, and then we were going to get Bayley making the save for Lyra, setting up Bayley versus Becky. Still waiting for that Bayley return. I have no idea when that is happening. But like I said, yeah, Becky Lynch is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, and I am pretty hype about this. I know a lot of people are going to be upset, saying, oh, Becky Hogan this, Becky Hogan that. But I think that, she can help elevate that title and, have it go to the heights it needs to get to, because right now both mid-card titles are in a weird spot where they're just not valued that much. So I hope that Becky Lynch can really take that title to the next level and have some great storylines, feuds, and matches. Following that, we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match between LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, El Grande Americano, Penta, and Andrade. This was a fun match between all of these guys. So many incredible spots with the ladders and whatnot. We actually saw Andrade get ball tapped with the ladder. Hope he's doing all right. He had a rough match. He got the Mexican Destroyer onto the ladder. He was just getting shoved off ladder. Brutal match for Andrade. He's the MVP of this match. But we got to see Penta have some incredible moments in his first Money in the Bank ladder match. Really cool to see. Solo Sikoa was really funny in this match. He was just hitting everybody's little emotes, like LA Knight and Penta. He was doing Penta's little walk. I thought that was really funny. But overall, this was a really fun and exciting match, and a long match, because, of course, it wouldn't be WWE if we didn't have shenanigans, and we indeed did have some shenanigans in this match. When Seth Rollins' goons came out of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, they came out to try to help Seth win the Money in the Bank briefcase, but then they were interrupted by Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. They would then have a stare-off. We would see Bron Breakker put JC Mateo through the barricade with a nasty spear. Bron Breakker also almost killed El Grande Americano with that spear down the ramp. It reminded me of the Carlito spear that he did a few weeks ago. That was awesome. We saw Jacob Fatu, though, take out Bronson Reed with a crazy Samoan drop. I don't know how he got him in the air for that. Jacob Fatu is insane. But then, everything looks all good for Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is climbing the ladder that Jacob Fatu put in the ring and set up. Jacob Fatu is basically saying, hey, Solo, climb the ladder, go win the briefcase, bring it home to the family. And then what do we see? Jacob Fatu grabbing the leg of Solo Sikoa, not allowing him to reach for that briefcase. And then he pulls Solo. Oh, right before he pulls Solo down, he says, Solo, I hate you. We all been saying it. When he turned on Solo, eventually he was going to say, Solo, I hate you, instead of Solo, I love you. They actually did it, so I think that was really cool. He pulls Solo off. He just dismantles Solo Sikoa, hits his finisher, puts him through a ladder. Just a bunch of disgusting moves to Solo Sikoa. Finally, I guess, I don't know if I would consider this a face turn from Jacob Fatu, because he's just so badass as a heel, but in a way it kind of is, because Solo is the heel in this situation. So I am super excited for this storyline. It's been built so good by WWE, so I cannot wait for the payoff match between Solo and Jacob Fatu. I was assuming SummerSlam, but now maybe Night of Champions instead. I'm not too sure. Either way, that was an awesome part of this match. At that point, I was saying I wouldn't even mind if Jacob Fatu just climbed the ladder and took the briefcase like Brock Lesnar did a few years ago. I honestly wouldn't have even minded that, because Jacob Fatu is a damn superstar. But after all of those shenanigans were done, we would see a little more action between the competitors. We would see Seth climb the ladder. LA Knight takes Seth off. At that point, I was like, oh, is LA Knight actually going to get the job done? Is LA Knight actually going to win the briefcase after failing the last couple of years? Nope. Seth Rollins would pull LA Knight down. He would stomp him, and then Seth Rollins would climb the ladder and retrieve the briefcase to become a two-time Money in the Bank winner. 11 years since his last win. Just absolutely crazy. I also predicted that Seth Rollins would win this briefcase, so I did really good on my predictions. I'm going to say that. But I'm not mad at this at all. I didn't really find anybody else in this match other than LA Knight and Seth Rollins to be too believable to win the briefcase. And Seth Rollins winning just makes sense, because obviously he's going to be cashing in on Jey Uso. They've already teased it. They've already had a match. Seth is talking about controlling Raw, controlling the future of WWE. he's obviously going to cash in on Jay with Jay's match against Gunther on Monday Night Raw. It's just so obvious that's when Seth Rollins is going to cash in. So like I said, I predicted this. I'm happy that it happened, and I can't wait for Seth to become world champion once again. And finally, that brings us to the main event of Money in the Bank, which was the tag team match between the WWE Champion John Cena and Logan Paul versus the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This match honestly wasn't too great to start off. I thought the pace was very slow, not a lot of great spots. It just looked like the chemistry was pretty off. Wasn't too interested in it. But eventually, later in the match, it did pick up. It got a lot quicker, the pace that is. We saw some cool spots, like Jey Uso spearing John Cena, going from one announce table to the other. Didn't actually break the table, but it was still a cool spot. And then, obviously, Logan Paul doing that insane moonsault off the apron onto Jey Uso on the announce table, breaking through the table. That was cool. Hate on Logan Paul all you want. That dude's a damn baller. He can do moves that not a lot of people in WWE can do. So I thought that was really cool. And then obviously, it seems like John Cena and Logan Paul are going to put this one away. They're going to win this match. But what do we see? We see a mysterious man in a black hoodie take out John Cena, and he would be revealed as R-Truth. That is right. R-Truth is officially back in WWE. I don't know if he was ever actually released, if this was all just a storyline, or WWE heard the fans. They heard the fans chanting, "We want truth," and they brought him back. I have no idea. I'm super curious to what Triple H has to say in the press conference, if he's going to say this was all part of the storyline, or if they just re-signed Truth, because I'm honestly super interested. But thank God R-Truth is back. I was really depressed that he was gone. I'm just so happy we get R-Truth segments every week now. I am interested to see if this is going to be like the same R-Truth, or like this is like a serious version of R-Truth, kind of like 2011 when he came back from being fired and he took out John Cena with him and The Miz. Like, maybe we get a serious R-Truth. Maybe it's not R-Truth. Maybe it's Ron Killings. I have no idea. Either way, I'm super excited for whatever they have planned with this R-Truth storyline. But back to the match. John Cena would be taken out by R-Truth, who made his return. He would actually hit John Cena with the WWE Championship, allowing Cody Rhodes to get back in the ring, hit Cena with a crossroads, and pin him for the victory. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso beat Logan Paul and John Cena. I also predicted this, and I predicted that Cody Rhodes would pin John Cena. Had a lot of people in my comments saying that wasn't going to happen. They were saying, no, Logan's there to take the pin. I said, no, Cody Rhodes is there to beat John Cena, to gain some momentum back and, get work towards getting his rematch for the WWE Championship. I just knew that Cody Rhodes was going to pin Cena in this match, and that is exactly what happened. But overall, a pretty solid Money in the Bank. I know, like, Naomi and Seth Rollins were a little predictable, but the matches were good, and in my opinion, I think they are the right winners. And then I obviously, didn't expect R-Truth to make his return, so I think that was pretty damn awesome to add to the show. So overall, I liked Money in the Bank. I would honestly give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a solid PLE. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Also guys, don't forget to comment down below what videos you want to see from me in the future. Alright guys, peace.